My name is Doug Knight. I'm from KEZD Dock. We're here to simulate an installation and assembly of a floating barge that you'd be able to move your four-wheeler and different things to hunting camp, or even if you just wanted a remote float for fishing, or taking other chunks of stuff to your remote cabin or different things like that. All right, we're going through the parts here today for our floating barge that we're going to put our four-wheeler on. So basically we got about 4 or 5 different parts here. Let's see, we've got the the regular couplers, and these are what couple the docks together. Basically there's one on the top and one on the bottom. They're equipped with a nut on the top that clamps them together, but also requires a security coupler. We'll use just a battery-powered drill, and then we have a security coupler there, and basically that just goes on and tightens those coupler bolts up. But normally it'd look like this if you didn't have that particular individual tool that's on this battery drill. Next thing we got our cleats. These just basically go into the cleat holes that's up on top of the dock. They got a stainless steel bolt that goes in the top. It's tightened up with an Allen wrench, 3/16. With these particular bolts, we got to use their stainless steel, so we got to use a food grade anti-seize. I stress the food grade because lead, we don't want lead in our waters. Let's see, we got the hardware couplers, and basically this is how we install our different chunks of pieces of stuff like ladders and different things like that, or our motor bracket that you're going to see here today. The rest of the parts are, we got a water install tool, and it basically looks like this, and this is how we install the couplers in the water underneath the dock, so we don't have to crawl on top underneath the dock or swim underneath the dock to push those up. So basically we'll install that from the top, and we'll slide this in between the two dock sections. Let's see, we got our socket here. I think I talked about that. General hammer to pound the couplers down so they fit tighter on top of the dock. Let's see, we've got a general pry bar right there. A lot of times you need to move it around because some of the stuff doesn't totally line up. Each dock is a little bit different in dimension. General toolkit, you know, that's just generally the stuff that any guy's kind of got. We need 2 ropes basically to hold on to the pieces of dock so they don't float away today in the wind. They've got kind of a breeze going. Then we got our friendly man's best friend here, the old dog here, to help us out today. All right, we're going through the installation of a cleat on an KEZD Dock. On all KEZD Docks, we got the stainless steel inserts that you'd see in this, actually about 6 points, 7 points on each dock. Stainless steel bolts, they got to have anti-seize that's installed on them. You just put a glob on there. That keeps them from seizing up or the threads galling in the stainless steel inserts. We want to be sure and use food grade anti-seize also, so we don't get lead and different things in the water, and be environmental friendly on that. So basically you put the cleat over the 2 stainless steel inserts like that, put it in there and thread it in. And basically what we have is we have a 3/16 Allen wrench that tightens it up. This one already has the anti-seize on it. Basically just get them threaded. Halfway started like that. We go ahead and tighten them up. And these particular inserts that are in the KEZD Dock, I've never ever seen one pull out in the days that we've been doing this, which is 7 years. Really a good installation. There you go, nice cleat, no rust, good and tough. This is our bracket that we use to hold the ramp on that goes from the bank over to the KEZD Dock. It installs pretty easily. It's got 2 hardware couplers that go on each end. It's got the chunks of aluminum that actually protrude down into the couplers up on the top. So the ramp will actually hook to this face right here and hang off of that, and this will install on just about like that. It'll slide down into the couplers like you see right here. Give a little shove and it slides down in just like that. And then basically we got 2 hardware couplers. The hardware couplers, you got to remember, they have a taper on them, so for the snug fit, so basically they go right up like this. So a lot of times you got to pound on it a little bit, get it down there. Get it in, you can see the bolt pop through right there. Put a nut on there. Install the other one on the other end. Put the nut on. And tighten her up. Good thing about doing this stuff out of the water is you don't lose your tools by dropping them in the water and different things like that. Alright, I'm demonstrating the installation of a boat motor bracket that would go on our easy dock that would push our boat around. So basically this is the bracket right here. This is where the motor actually goes. You can see it's built nice and tough, galvanized bolts. On the back side you can see where the hardware couplers go in. So basically we have these two, we'll put two hardware couplers on this particular bracket right here. So they got 13/16 nuts on the back. Leave these loose so they're flop around a little bit there. Here's another one here. So this is what the boat motor bracket will hang on when I'm trying to get the hardware couplers on the bottom. So basically you can see how loose they are right there. They pop up. They're also tapered. I didn't show you that. But these couplers are tapered right here, so they wedge down into these pockets. So basically, you see where I kind of slide those up like that, do a little adjustment here. See how you want them kind of halfway down and flush right there as far as tight. Then we get these other ones. They basically come up from the bottom, slide up into those coupler pockets, put a bolt on right there, or excuse me, a nut. Put another one in on this side, tighten this one up. You want to leave them halfway loose if you can. So this one here, so we basically got the nuts put on those. Once we get it all arranged, look at it where it's nice and square, tight. Then we'll go ahead and tighten those up with the 13/16 ratchet. And that's basically concludes that installation pretty quick. So here we just launched these docks and pulled them together, and there's kind of some tricks when you're putting on these couplers on the top. One, it's floating in the water. One thing I'm really trying to show you is this can be done without getting wet. So basically, to keep these docks lined up first, what we want to do is take a half coupler like this, put it in this first coupler hole and drive it in pretty good. Using a hammer just like that. Then what we do is if you got a 2x6 like this, you can put that over, and if I stand on that side of the dock or this side of the dock, that makes the dock uneven like you'd see down there at the back right there. So if I walk out, if I step out there, stand on that particular coupler and use my in-water install tool that you see here, I'll take and saw this tool in between that dock right there and pull it up right here in the center, and we'll put a coupler on it, and then we know we got the dock captured and it's not going to float off or float downstream. So anyway, here we go. We'll see how this works. So basically I step on the coupler right there that's holding the dock together, come over here and stand on this, and this, so once I step over here, you see how the dock goes down. So what we'll do is we'll kind of slide this along, and we'll get it over to about, we want to probably come to about this center coupler right here that you see. Got to be about half careful. So here you have this water install tool. You got to make sure the coupler is seated right on the bottom. This coupler rod is straight with this top. This hole actually lets us pull that coupler rod up into the bottom, seating this coupler on the bottom, and we can put that pinch bar right in the center and pry that up. Alright, as you can see, we went ahead and put the other 5 couplers in this dock. So they're installed and all tightened up, and I want to show you the last installation coupler just so you can kind of see the procedure. Notice that I'm still not wet. It took us about 5 minutes to put these in. So basically, I showed you this once already, but we take and put this coupler right in this in-water install tool. So you can see how this coupler fits on this ledge right here on the front and cams down underneath that. So basically you start about like that. When you put this in, You want to make sure that this rod lines up with this blade right here. And you can see you want to make sure it's in there good, because if you drop one in the water, then you got to get wet. So basically, you take that and you'll saw that underneath the dock, just like this, into this coupler hole. Once you get it in place and you feel like it's pretty good, make sure the dock is leveled. You can see how this one's higher. Push down on that, give that a shove and pull it up. And that seated the rod right here so it comes up in this coupler hole. Basically take the coupler, put it over the top, hit it a couple times until it's flush. It's a chunk of rubber, so it's a wedge fit, just like those hardware couplers. Put the nut in the top. Battery drill's got the security coupler on there, or nut, or key, I should say. Tighten that baby up. Then to get this in water install tool out, it takes a little bit of work. There you go. The couplers are in, the dock is safe to be on, and you can go ahead and position for the next thing, which is drive that bike on there, load up all your stuff, your buddies and your dog, and you're off to hunting camp. Alright, so we've completed the installation and assembly of our dock system here. We have our ramp, we've got the bike on here. Make sure you secure that thing. It's pretty much ready to go. We got our motor on the back and pretty much all of our supplies. Don't forget your life jacket and your friendly dog. And always remember that you can take and call your Easy Dock dealer in your local area, and he'll take and get you set up with all the parts, and pretty much he'll even assemble it for you if you'd like. So don't forget that, and have a great time, and we're ready to set sail.